When veteran Daniel Hayes inherited his uncle's run-down lodge, the town mocked him. "It is cursed," they sneered. "Burn it down." But Daniel wasn't after money. He was chasing a promise. Days later, his dog dug through ice and found cold metal. It was the secret his uncle died protecting. Tick sting. The snow fell quietly outside the attorney's office as Daniel Hayes, a decorated war veteran, sat in silence. He had expected nothing from his late uncle's will, maybe a few words of kindness, but when the lawyer handed him an envelope, murmurs filled the room. His cousins leaned forward, expecting riches. Instead, the lawyer read aloud, "To my nephew, Daniel, I leave my mountain lodge, my most loyal possession to my most loyal kin." The atmosphere was thick with tension and greed. Daniel remained calm, his posture straight. He knew this moment would define his path forward. The lawyer adjusted his glasses, looking nervous. He cleared his throat loudly. Everyone waited for the next words. Daniel's heart beat steadily. He was ready. "Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel today." The room erupted in laughter. A run-down shack in the woods. One relative scoffed loudly. "That's not an inheritance. That's a punishment." Daniel said nothing. He just smiled faintly, remembering the man who taught him to fish, hunt, and keep promises. His uncle's last words echoed in his mind. "The lodge holds what you truly deserve." The cousins whispered about selling the land for pennies. They believed Daniel was foolish to accept such a burden. They saw only decay where he saw memory. Daniel signed the papers without hesitation. He knew value wasn't always measured in dollars. He remembered the warm fires and quiet listens of his childhood. A week later, Daniel packed his truck with supplies and his loyal German shepherd, Rex. Snow blanketed the mountain roads as they climbed toward the forgotten property. Locals at a gas station chuckled, warning him about the ghost lodge that no one dared approach. They said the wind howled with voices of the lost. Daniel simply nodded. He wasn't chasing ghosts. He was honoring family as the truck disappeared into the white wilderness. Neither man nor dog had any idea how close they were to uncovering a secret buried beneath years of silence and snow. He promised himself he would not fail the man who raised him. The trees grew thicker as the road narrowed. The air grew thinner. Rex whined softly in the back seat, sensing the shift in atmosphere. Daniel glanced in the rearview mirror. "Hold on, boy. We are almost home." Snow crunched beneath Daniel's boots as he and Rex stood before the old mountain lodge. The wooden structure loomed like a ghost from another time. Its sign half broken still read Lodge Haven. Ivy crawled up the walls and frost clung to the windows like webs. A cold wind howled through the pines, carrying a faint echo that made Daniel's chest tighten with nostalgia and unease. Inside, dust floated through the air, shimmering in the faint light that crept through broken shutters. The scent of damp wood and forgotten years filled his lungs. Daniel set down his gear, running his hand along the creaky banister. "You really let go of yourself, old man," he muttered softly, a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. But as night fell, the silence grew heavier, almost alive. Portraits of long-gone guests hung on the walls, their eyes seeming to follow him as he moved through the dim halls. Rex's ears perked up, growling at a closed door upstairs. Daniel froze. He slowly pushed it open, revealing an old study filled with scattered papers. On the desk lay a weathered journal, its cover embossed with his uncle's initials. The first page read, "To whoever finds this, remember, loyalty is the true key. The treasure is meant for the faithful." Daniel's pulse quickened. He looked down at Rex, who wagged his tail once as if understanding. Something about this place wasn't haunted by ghosts. It was haunted by secrets. Daniel spent hours reading by candlelight. The entry spoke of a burden kept safe. Rex paced the floor, scratching at the floorboards near the fireplace. Daniel paused. He knelt beside his dog. "What is it, boy?" Rex barked once, sharp and loud. Daniel tapped the wood. It sounded hollow. He grabbed a poker from the fireplace and pried at the edge. Beneath the rug, a loose board revealed a small compartment. Inside was a rusted key and a map marked with an X near the old shed. Daniel's heart raced. The journal mentioned beneath the roots of time. He looked at the map. It matched the tree outside. Rex nudged his hand. They had work to do before the storm hit hard. That night, a furious snowstorm swept through the mountains, rattling the windows of the old lodge. The wind howled like voices from the past, whispering through the cracks of the wooden walls. Daniel tossed another log into the fireplace and sat beside Rex, reading through the faded pages of his uncle's journal. one phrase repeated several times beneath the roots of time. "What were you hiding, man?" he murmured. Suddenly, Rex's ears shot up. He barked sharply, then bolted toward the door, pawing frantically. "Rex, no!" It's freezing out there, but the dog ignored him, racing into the blizzard. Daniel grabbed a lantern and followed, his boots sinking into the deep snow. The wind cut through his coat like a knife. Through the blinding white, he spotted Rex digging near a collapsed wooden fence. Daniel knelt beside him and brushed away the snow. His fingers struck something hard. A small frozen chest lay buried beneath the ice, its iron lock rusted shut. Back inside, Daniel placed it by the fire, water dripping from its edges. As the metal thawed, strange engravings appeared, his uncle's initials carved beside a wolf, and the words for the loyal. Rex whined softly, eyes fixed on the chest. Daniel's breath fogged in the cold air. "Looks like we found your secret, Uncle," he whispered. "But why does it feel like someone's watching us?" He felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold. The fire crackled loudly in the sudden silence. Outside, the wind died down abruptly. Too quickly, Daniel stood up, moving toward the window. He locked the door securely. Rex growled low in his throat. Daniel checked the rifle leaning against the wall. Night fell heavy and silent, the moonlight casting long shadows across the snow. Daniel sat by the window, staring at the chest near the fireplace. The antique key glimmered in his palm, cold and heavy. Rex lay beside him, tense, his ears twitching at every distant sound. Then, crunching footsteps outside. Daniel grabbed his rifle and peered through the frosted glass. Two figures moved between the trees. His breath fogged against the window. "They're back," he whispered. The loud bang echoed through the lodge as the front door swung open. "We warned you, Hayes," one of the men shouted. Daniel ducked behind the sofa as Rex lunged forward, snarling, forcing one intruder back. The second man rushed toward the chest, but slipped on the icy floor, sending papers and snow scattering. Daniel sprang forward, tackling him. In the chaos, the key clattered to the floor. Rex grabbed it in his mouth and dropped it near Daniel. "Good boy," he muttered, locking the door behind them. With trembling hands, Daniel inserted the key into the chest. Slowly, he lifted the lid, revealing stacks of gold bars, antique coins, and a sealed envelope marked for the faithful. Daniel unfolded the note inside. His uncle's handwriting was clear. "Wealth fades, loyalty endures. If you found this, you kept your promise." Daniel looked at Rex, voice breaking. "We did it, boy." Morning sunlight broke through the windows, casting golden rays over the chest. The snow outside glowed like crystal. For the first time, the lodge didn't feel haunted. It felt alive. Daniel sat beside the fire, the letter trembling. "Loyalty endures." Rex rested his head on Daniel's knee. "We found it, buddy," Daniel whispered. "But this isn't just ours." He rebuilt the lodge, transforming it into a veteran's retreat, a safe haven for soldiers like him. He named it Loyal Haven. Daniel stood on the porch watching Rex chase snowflakes. "You were right, Uncle," he murmured. "The real treasure wasn't buried in gold. It was right here all along." Snow fell, a loyal man, his faithful dog, and a promise kept.